like science.
I like science.
I like science.
Recording is now in progress.
Science.
Recording is now in progress. That's Brandy doing the
That's-
recording in progress thing, and then I copied her.
And that's
And
Dave.
I am Dave. Yes.
That's Dave. We are
Today
Brandy and
is
Dave.
my birthday. Na 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 na. It's
Yeah.
your birthday too. Yeah. Na 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 na.
Actually, it's not mine. It's not for 9 more days.
Nope. I was doing, what is it? The
I
Beatles
know.
that did that song?
It is a Beatles song, yes.
Could always do one of those Applebee's types birthday songs when they
Nope,
thought that
nope,
the happy
nope,
birthday was copyrighted and it wasn't.
Boy, that was a debacle. That went on for years, didn't it?
That did. Yep. Remember that after it had been debunked that it was copyrighted, anytime it was somebody's birthday on Spontaneous Nation, Paul F. Tompkins would sing it because they could.
Mm-hmm.
And he delighted in it.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I
just
remember
because
that.
it felt like being rebellious, and that's a very Paul F. Tompkins thing to do.
It is. I love Paul
He's
F.
about to
Tompkins.
do a live show, and he was on Blue Sky talking about the Tate brothers.
Oh.
It's like, these assholes. Oh, wait, I'm about to do a show. Why am I getting worked up about these monsters when there's so many other monsters in the world?
Yeah.
And go on stage now.
Yep. Gotta love Paul. I've loved Paul for decades.
Forever and ever and ever.
Ever and ever
From
and ever.
probably back in Mr. Show days when I didn't even know who he was. Same with
Yep.
Karen Kilgariff,
Mm-hmm.
David Cross, Bob Odenkirk. I mean, talk about just a killer cast and crew.
Yep.
Insane. Yeah, the last Paul F. Tompkins thing I saw before that was, if there's one thing I know about Peter Pan, is that son of a bitch loves to stand with his fists at his hips.
I'm sure you could find lots of stuff on YouTube with Paul F. Tompkinson.
Yeah, makes me
Sure.
want to go back and watch Mr. Show, because I think I showed you Coupon the movie.
Did you?
I might have, as I think we were sharing favorite sketches, and I also showed you the one from Kids in the Hall when they were trappers and they were hunting suits, and they trapped businessmen in like a office building.
Mm-hmm. I remember
They're
that.
going around on a kayak with wheels.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're just like Canadian fur trappers, leaving out traps and catching some kind of stockbroker in a bear trap or something. Sketch comedy.
I love good sketch comedy. Not all
Yeah,
sketch
those are
comedy
two
is
of the
good.
best.
Yes.
Mr. Show
Yes.
and Kids in the Hall, two very good sketch things. Never got into The State, but I understand people really like The State, and Ben Stiller Show, I think, has a lot of fans.
I know nothing about
Yep.
it. Like nothing. Didn't even know it was a
Yeah.
thing. That's how
Yep.
little I know.
It was a thing.
Yeah. So,
So, yeah, we introduced ourselves. This is Shield Modulation, a random
Yep.
Star Trek podcast where we choose an episode or a movie from the Star Trek franchise.
randomly.
Yes, randomly, and we review it. And boy, do we have one this time. And Randy was saying, please don't tell us what the price is about. And holy
Mhm.
shit, maybe you should have warned us.
Uh,
We could have
no.
gone in with the loins girded.
No, this was better. This was better because our reactions were way more genuine.
Genuine. Dear Lord.
Oh, for fuck's
What an
sake.
episode.
So,
Fucking hell.
Yes,
Woof.
TNG season 3 episode 8, the price.
Is
What
wrong.
the fuck? Like in the fucking
What's the
cold
fucking fuck?
open, in
Right.
the cold open, like we were following Troy into her quarters, she starts unzipping her
Yeah.
outfit right then. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? And then she goes on this diatribe with the computer about how there's no real chocolate and she wants real chocolate. And the computer's like, I can't do that. Give me something I can do.
And what triggers that whole thing about real chocolate is that there was a message from her mother, which was letters that were photographed, mimeographed, something. It's not like even email. It's like the letter is written, there's an image taken of the letter, and then the letter sent over computer.
So it's a
It's like,
PDF.
yeah, it's like email before email. Not even a PDF. It's like a JPEG of a letter.
Yeah.
What?
Why?
But then this was 1989, so it was before email, but I think you still had messaging on certain computers, I would think.
I don't think we did, really.
Yeah.
Don't think we had that much.
They'd have to be connected to the same network, but it
Hmm.
wasn't, yeah. You'd
Yeah.
have to be like connected to the same network in the same building, I think, to be able to send each other messages, but still.
Yep.
Yeah, just showing
So,
you that was before email. That was the closest thing is,
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
weird.
it's
So it's,
so weird.
yeah, her and zipping, and she was already in like one of Troy's usual swoop neck outfits,
Yeah, the ones that
super tight.
are showing cleavage, yes.
Yep,
Like Marina actually wanted to wear that shit. Of course she didn't. She wanted to
right.
just wear normal clothes. Why couldn't she wear a uniform? But we have to make a woman look sexy. And since Dr. Crusher isn't sexy, we're gonna make you the sexy.
Well, Crusher's sexy in her own way, but yes, Star Trek being horny, and all Star Trek is horny in one way or another. And this is one of the hornier episodes of Star Trek, but also sleazy, kind of slimy,
So
Skinamaxy.
yeah,
Uh, yeah,
there's so much ick,
there's a lot of ick
especially
in this.
regarding Rawl. There's
Yeah.
so much ick.
Did you
And
notice his first name?
it's a long one and it's
It's
stupid.
like Devanoni. It's like they took Devon and they italicized it or something.
No,
They give it this like Italian flair.
it was like 4 or 5 syllables. It was
Yeah, it's like
ridiculous.
Tevanoni. It's like Tevanoni. What the? Let me look up that again just to make sure I was correct. Yep, Devanoni. It's like Devon and then Oni, like
It's
the Japanese demon.
it sounds dumb. It sounds
Yes,
dumb.
it does sound very dumb.
I
Devanoni Rawl.
I would never actually, if I had that name, I would never go by that name and I would just say, call me Dev,
Devral. Devral's a great name. Devral's a
right?
great Star Trek name.
Yeah, but no, they did Devanoni.
Oh my God, Devral is amazing. I love that name. My
I'm
next
yeah,
D&D character.
that I get exactly. Hey, I said it first.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's all right. You can have it. You'll be your
No,
next BG3 character
maybe it will.
if you're
Maybe
gonna
it
do your
will.
Oops All Rangers
Yep,
playthrough.
that'll be fun. Oops, all Rangers.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, we keep talking. It's because I don't want to go through
Well,
this again.
it's a podcast. That's what we do, and the sides are part of it. And hey, it's
Yep.
still related. Devrall,
Yep.
uh, Devanoni Rawl, the shitty pickup artist.
Yeah. Well, okay. So long story short,
Right.
the Barzans have a wormhole that
They have
is
a wormhole,
stable.
like you do.
They think, and like you do, they want to sell it. They want to sell it to the highest bidder because they don't have the resources to develop it, to use it in the way that would make it profitable for them. So they
Yes.
don't have the technology basically to, take care of a wormhole.
Right.
Basically. So they're having basically an auction, a silent auction, so to speak, where people discuss in private their bids
Hmm.
and nobody knows who's bidding what on when and etc. The minute I see Raul, I went, oh no, not this guy.
Not
I
this
hate this
episode.
episode.
And while Troy is arguing with the computer over real chocolate, she gets a call from Jean-Luc Picard
The
to
captain.
come to some kind of observation deck to observe the wormhole's appearance,
And it's a
scheduled
reception. They're having
appearance.
reception for all the
It's a
people.
reception, and it's weirdly shot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the setup of this, they tried to make it look like it was widely populated, but I think the frame was a little too wide and everybody was kind of off to the side. And then it was empty behind them, which it kind of makes sense. Everybody's standing close to the window to get a better look. But even so, you'd think that room would have been filled with people. And it's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of off to one side. And it's just little things like this in this episode. I don't know if it was just direction or what was going there, but it just gave this
Oh,
uneven feel to the scene. And there's other
mhm.
elements that we'll address later that just kind of give this a cheap feeling.
Yep.
It feels like they
Shuttle,
had a very
shuttle,
limited
sh-
budget for this, like the shuttles that we'll get
shuttle,
into later.
shuttle.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. We'll get into
Yeah.
it totally.
So just kind of cheap feeling.
So here's my question. How do you sell a wormhole?
Well, it's there's the movie Burlesque, and one of the big plot points of Burlesque are air rights.
Mm,
And that if you own a property, you also own the air rights above that property.
okay.
And so I think it's the air rights to the wormhole. Is it because it's at their planetary system, which we keep seeing the Enterprise orbiting this just generically
Barzan.
blue-green planet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's apparently toxic to everybody but them, which is why they haven't developed much. It's because nobody can go down there, and so they can't have like trade or anything on the planet. Why they can't build a space station, I don't know. Maybe they don't have the resources. Maybe it's a weirdly mostly, I don't know, gaseous or uh, liquid planet or something. But even so, you'd think there'd be some kind of resources, but apparently not. Anyhow, that's because it's in their system that they have some kind of ownership over it.
Mm,
And so people can only use it with their permission.
okay.
And so if it is a stable wormhole that goes to the Delta quadrant and
Nope. Nope.
or
Goes to the
the
gamma
gamma,
quadrant.
oh, it goes to the gamma quadrant. The
But
Delta quadrant is the
no,
one
no,
with
no.
the Dominion, or
No, no,
is that
wait,
the one
wait.
that's Voyager?
Stop, stop. Let me
Okay,
speak. It's supposed to go to the gamma quadrant because they sent a probe through. However,
right.
later on, we find out that the wormhole doesn't always open to the same point in space at the other end.
Yeah, and that gets
So
revealed
when,
much later in the episode.
yeah, so when Geordi and Data go through and the Ferengi go through, the Ferengi won't leave.
Right,
Geordi's like, no, we're getting out of here. This opening's gonna collapse. And they find out they're in the Delta Quadrant.
right,
Geordi and Data figure that out. They're in the Delta Quadrant, not the Gamma Quadrant.
right.
So basically, that makes the wormhole worthless, which,
Yep.
anyone who's watched the episode already knows. But that's the funny
Yes.
thing. They're just like, oh no, this goes to the Gamma Quadrant, which would be the Dominion and,
Yeah, so
the founders,
yeah.
etc. ad nauseum.
So
But
Gamma is the Dominion War.
yes,
Delta is where Voyager is lost. And
yes.
Beta, what do we know about the Beta Quadrant? Is that like Romulan space or is that still
Uh,
Alpha?
Honestly, I think that they're kind of in Romulan space. The only time we really see that in recent Trek was in season 2 of Discovery when they're
Right,
chasing the red bursts, and one of them
right.
takes them to that planet in the Beta quadrant.
Ah,
And because they have a mushroom drive, the spore drive, they can get there
right,
in a very short amount of time. And it was basically something the Red Angel did. They basically picked up an entire church full of survivors during the Third World War, but
uh-huh.
plopped them down on this other planet and bugged out.
Yeah, weird.
There were reasons behind it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
that's the
anyway,
thing about Discovery is it takes some pretty wild swings, so and that's why I enjoy the series. And
yeah,
that's
I
one of
like
those things that's like way deep science fiction kind of stuff.
yes.
It's like you got kind of weird time travel, you got interdimensional travel, just crazy stuff going on.
You get
Weird religions
reconstituting.
based on what happened in the past.
Yep. You
Yeah.
get to reconstituted people from the mycelial network.
Yeah. It's a place where death has strange effects.
Yeah.
Memories carry on through the mycelial network and stuff.
Hmm.
It's odd.
Yeah.
It kind
Anyway.
of connects to, fungal connection to death. I mean, there's
Mm,
parallels to draw from, so it
yeah.
just gets pretty
Lots.
wild and pretty speculative, which is why I like it.
That's the thing is, oh dear, I
What
still,
happened?
hang on.
What happened?
What happened was that my microphone changed itself.
Oh, that's gonna sound weird.
That's okay. It's back now.
Okay. You sound all tinny
I
and
bumped.
weird.
Yeah,
All
that was
robot.
switched to my AirPods, and then I because I accidentally bumped a cord and it slid out a little bit. Anyway,
Oh, I see.
yes.
Damn
So,
cords. So
so we
yeah,
yeah.
this wormhole thing, and
Hmm.
so yeah, that's how they're bidding for the use of it. Is the wormhole belongs to whatever species you said these
The
are,
Barzans.
the Barzans, which is Non from Discovery, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they have that little device around their cheeks that feed them the air they need to breathe.
When they're not on their home planet. When they're on their
Yeah, when
home
they're not on
planet,
their home
it's
planet. Yeah,
they just breathe normally.
right.
So yeah. But this is where we see some of the people who are bidding on this wormhole. The Federation
Right.
is also bidding on
Yep.
this wormhole. And they've got a third party there that is going to represent them, Mr. Mendoza.
Yes.
And I've seen him before in other stuff. He's popped up in other stuff, that actor. Lots of
Right.
stuff during the 80s. And then we meet Rawl, who's there on behalf of the
Chrysalians.
Chrysalians,
Or is it
whatever.
Chrysalians or
Chrysalians,
Crystalians?
Chrysalians, Chrysalians,
Chrysalians. Because it
Chrysalians.
was weird because it kept saying aliens as part of it, and it was confusing me. It's like
Yeah.
they're all aliens named Chris. There's Chris Pike, there's Chris Pratt, over here's Chris Evans,
Uh,
Chris Lloyd, Chris Christopherson. I'm
that's
running
with a
out of
K.
Chris's.
Yeah.
Chris Angel,
Chris Sarandon. Chris
Chris
Sarandon. He's a
Randon,
good one. Love Chris Sarandon.
Chris, comma Jesus. Wait, no, that's Christ.
Oh,
Chris
sorry.
Aliens.
That was almost a donkey bray laugh
And
there.
every time they said it is just like just took me out. It's like you keep saying aliens as part of this alien, and it's just weird. Chris Aliens.
Chrysalians. There is
Yeah.
a chrysalis sort of thing going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck they want.
So yeah, he's this third party representative of the Chrysalians.
Yeah. Uh, and Troy has to come to that, and that's where she meets Slimo.
What a weird first impression. It's like immediately they're right off onto each other, and it's like it gives the impression they already knew each other because it happens
Mm,
that quickly, and there's this weird recognition. It's like I understand being Twitter pated and stuff, but this it felt forced, it felt weird, it
hmm.
felt rushed.
Yeah.
It just there's something odd about it. And I guess that kind of gets explained with the whole Betazoid thing, but or Beta
Not
Z
enough.
thing.
No, that
But
doesn't work for me.
not enough to warrant how quickly this happens. And it felt kind of bad slash ficky kind of stuff, like
Hmm.
just jumping into romance way quickly and not merited. And as many red flags are around this guy.
Hmm.
And I understand like the whole saying that if you go into like a salon or a barber shop, look for the barber or the hairstylist with the worst haircut because they're the ones giving the haircut to everybody else and not doing their own.
Hmm.
It's kind of like that, also physician heal thyself thing is like, yeah, you can't treat yourself. The therapist doesn't treat herself. So maybe she's not picking up on the things that she would notice in other people's lives. And she's like,
Yeah.
it's like tarot card reading that is
Mm,
difficult to read for yourself. You need somebody to read for you because you're
yeah.
too close to it. And it's like maybe that's the situation. She can't read the signs because she's too close to the source. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just weird that she falls for him. He's got red flags all over him. He's
Yeah.
like the game of Risk and the red team's winning.
Yeah. He's gross. He's got this. I noticed that he has different ways of talking depending on who he's speaking to in the
Of
episode.
course. He's always playing
And
the game, which,
yes.
this pickup artist thing, the book, the game, is he's always manipulating and gaslighting and nagging and pushing and he's like a con artist in that respect.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's just gross. It's gross. And honestly, yeah, okay. So take like a Hallmark movie.
Right.
That's in 90 minutes, people fall in love, etc. That's still way longer than this guy jumps on Deanna's bones.
And
It's
there's back
just
and forth
ew.
stuff. There's like, should we not? There's a little bit of resistance. There's a little bit of flirting. There's miscommunications, fun stuff like that that makes a rom-com into a rom-com. But this is like immediately he's like touching her and doing a weird nagging thing about her being a counselor and that she has to divorce herself from her job to be human. Well, he's always a negotiator. He's
Hmm.
always negotiating. I mean, even in the moments where it seems like he's being genuine, I'm not sure of it. I think he's still playing the game. I think
Yeah.
he's putting pretenses of being vulnerable
Oh,
to put
absolutely.
himself out there, especially when you realize that she's a distraction to distract Riker. But he does that really early on, as if, well, he does know. He does know that they're taking out Mendoza because he's working with the Ferengi.
Mm-hmm.
So all along, he suspects, which is like one of those things where the bad guy is like 10 steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that Riker's going to be selected to be the representative, and Riker's soft spot is Troy. And so if Raul goes after Troy, he's going to upset Riker and put him off his game. So he doesn't negotiate as well, but he underestimates Riker because Riker's a poker player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yikes.
These are some of my notes.
Okay.
Because the Ferengi were all pissed off because they weren't invited, and of course, they get there and they're immediately demanding chairs.
Yep.
They just keep demanding chairs, and Picard is finally just like, you can have my chair, but only one of you is
Only
allowed
one.
to be in
Yep.
this negotiation. These are some of my notes. Full eye roll. Ew, he has a punchable face. Ew, ew. Everything he does is wrong. Creepazoid. And then fucking Ferengi. Soap opera music. Pickup artist bullshit. These are
Yeah.
my notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
all of them, but the the one scene where it just starts with seeing someone rubbing someone else's foot with oil. Ew.
Yeah, there's a scene
Ugh.
directed by Quentin Tarantino in which Raul is massaging Troy's feet with some kind of massage oil. And during, I think, the same scene later on, she gets cowgirl on top of him,
And
like
starts
full on
putting massage
straddles
oil
him.
on his chest.
Yeah, it's like just
Ugh.
how it doesn't speak well to Troy in this. And I understand, people fall in love with the wrong people. People are attracted to the wrong person every once in a while. There's just some weird scenario in which you're drawn or attracted to a person who is completely wrong for you. But really, we expect better of her.
Yeah, she should be better.
She
And just
deserves better, and the fact that this guy gets to score with Troy, it's
ew.
disappointing.
Well, not
She,
only that, like their first meeting, and he's talking to her, and he takes her headband out,
yeah,
and he's like touching her without permission. Fucking consent. Ask for fucking consent. You don't just start touching a woman
yep.
that way,
He
messing her
touches her
hair up.
arm, he
Ew.
puts his fingers in her hair, and
Ugh.
gets some curl kind of all weird looking, and she's all doed,
Doid.
doe-eyed at him. And I don't
Ugh.
understand why. I don't understand the appeal.
Mm-mm.
I mean, imagine the actor can be charming and attractive in his own
He can.
manner, but not this character. This
Yeah.
character is a sleazeball.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the actor is intimating that all along because he knows
Mm-hmm.
he's playing a sleazeball, and there's that aspect. I mean, he's living in the skin of the character because, that's what actors do. I mean, there's a way to do it subtly, but this isn't subtle.
No, this is nothing.
This this guy's
No,
sleazeball
yeah,
from page one, and
yeah.
when things get revealed later, it's not much of a surprise because yeah, this guy, well, he's not that great of a negotiator, and he's
Mm-mm.
cheating all along in multiple respects. It's not
Mm-hmm.
that he's exploiting one advantage; is he's stacking the deck in his favor.
Yeah, but that seems to be what he does no matter what the negotiation is.
Yeah, it's not about his skill set, even as highly skilled as he would apparently be by being an empath, 1/4 empath, but still,
Yeah.
there are some advantage there that you can exploit, and that should be enough to give you an edge. But no, he doesn't rely just on that. It has to be that he's rigging the game,
Mm-hmm.
that he's working with the Ferengi. They're going to take out Mendoza by some kind of allergen,
Yeah.
which happens with a handshake,
Mm-hmm.
takes him out of negotiations for days. So that's why Riker goes. And so, in his stead. And then with Raul going after Troy to get to Riker. But oh my God, the scene where Riker's just like, if you make her happy, that's great.
That
And
is
completely
just
defeats him.
wow. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but I don't think you can because you have nothing to give her.
Yeah.
And it's true. He has
Mm-hmm.
nothing. He's hollow.
And the look on his face is priceless.
Yeah, because he all the stuff, and Riker's not an empath, but he can read people because, the poker player and being second in command and just being a skilled officer and
Yeah.
understanding, human nature or just, personal conflict and that sort of thing and intention and other things that he's spotting because he's watching him, how Raul interacts with people all the time. He's seeing how he changes his tactics with each person. And a lot of times, Raul's doing it one on one with somebody.
Mm,
But, every once in a while, Riker's there and sees how he's, manipulating and, putting cards up his sleeve to go back to the poker reference, just cheating the game.
yeah.
So yeah, to say that he's got nothing to offer. He's hollow. He's the fact that he cheats at everything is there's no skill set there.
Mm-mm.
It's all cheating. It's all playing the game. And playing a game with cheat codes. There's
Yeah.
no actual skill set there. No talent.
Yeah. It's I love that conversation between
Hmm.
Raul and Riker because Riker is just he's already been onto this guy from day one and or hour one. I don't know is how long this negotiation is. It seems like
Yeah,
it's all
the
in one day.
time is weird. It seems very rushed. The whole thing
Actually, I think
seems
it's
rushed.
a couple of days because they
Yeah,
take the shuttle out the next day. So
right.
this happens over a couple of days
The
at
Volkswagen
least.
bug of a shuttle.
Oh my God. And you said it first, the Red Dwarf budget with that shuttle.
Oh my God, it's the tiniest thing, and the way it's shot is super cramped. You have Data and Geordi just like shoulder to shoulder with each other in this little bumpy thing that looks like those coin operated rides in front of grocery stores back in the day. It seems
Yeah.
that small. It's so tiny that they're just shoulder to shoulder. This tiny little shuttle, this little puddle jumper, and it's just
And it's
it's
obviously
so
on a
silly.
gimbal because they rock it
They
like
rock
they're on a
every time
rocking
they're going
horse.
through what another cheap effect, which is the wormhole itself. But they had limited special effects for the time. But even so, I mean, it's the
Yeah.
Stargate from 2001. This is not.
Mm-mm.
So it's just and the Ferengi one's not much better. And these must have been tiny models because they don't scale well. When they
Mm-mm.
pull up in front of the wormhole, it's like you would find them in your Happy Meal.
Mm-hmm.
uh, these shuttles. I mean,
Yeah.
it can be charming in its own way, but in a show that's had better ships and like alongside the, I guess, computer generated Enterprise that we see shots of, and then we see the shuttle, and it's like, oof, oh boy, that's a sharp dip.
Mm-hmm. It's glaring. It is glaring. It
I mean,
just
it looks like a
jars
bumper
you.
car.
Yeah, it jars you right out of the
Yeah.
episode. Just yeah. It's like I didn't even pay attention to everything that Jordy and Data said during that scene because I was just like, what the fuck is with this
What is with this
shuttlecraft?
tiny, tiny little shuttle? This little toy shuttle, this little plushy toy of a shuttle.
Usually the shuttles are like minivans. What the hell?
It's like there should be a Fisher Price sticker on the side of it. Dear Lord, it's like a baby stroller.
Uh,
You can tell we did not like this episode.
I
There's
like
moments I liked. I
yes.
liked the consternation of Jean-Luc. It's
Oh,
Patrick
he's
Stewart's
great.
a consummate actor, and whatever you put him in, he's going to be good. He's going to deliver. I mean, even Dune, when he's running
Mm-hmm.
around with his pug under his arm,
Yep.
brilliant. He's good. He's a good actor, and he does good work. I mean, Green Room, holy shit, he's so scary in that movie.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, his eye rolls, his size, his you can have my chair. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. Riker's great in this. Freight's
Fantastic.
the swagger after he leaves the table talking to Rawl because he
Mm-hmm.
knows he got him. You can see it on his face. It's like there's blood on his chin. After that sucker punch of saying, "Hey, you got nothing to offer her. I wish you could make her happy, but you can't.
Yeah.
You've got nothing to offer her.
That was
You're
so cool.
you're
That's
empty."
my favorite scene of the entire episode is
Mhm.
that conversation.
And it hit true. It hit the mark, and
Mm-hmm.
that's something that yeah, Rawl can use his empathy to kind of guess at stuff and to, like when he's suggesting to Riker that, oh, you're second in command. It's like, Riker really want command? I mean, he's kind of done it, but it's not really his thing. I mean, he can command a ship and does later, but it's like,
Yeah.
he's fine being second officer. He's a good second officer. And he
No, he's
does what
first
second officers
officer.
is, or first officer, sorry. It confuses me because first officer sounds like you should be the first in charge.
No, you're
You
the
should be
first
the
officer
chief,
after the
but you're the
captain.
first officer because you're under the captain. So
Yeah.
he's the first officer. He's number one. So, who does number one work for? Who does number two work for? It's the Austin Powers for you.
No,
As
you have
Patrick
to do it
Stewart.
this way. Who does
That's
number
number
two
two
work
work
for?
for.
Because he's dunking someone's head in the toilet.
Yeah. So courtesy flush, please. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so first officer, number one. Yes, he's the first officer, and first officer has a lot of responsibilities because he's
Mm,
taking care of all the things the captain doesn't have time for. And that's a lot. That's a lot of delegating. I mean, that's like being an assistant manager. Managers got their hands full, usually with paperwork and all the administrative stuff. The assistant manager is the one dealing with the people.
mm,
And so social skills, very key. That's why the poker game is
mm.
Riker's playing poker with the crew. The captain's not there. Captain has other things to do.
But he was
Captain's
always
not.
welcome.
He was always welcome, but that kind of shows you, what the hierarchy is. The captain's up in his ivory tower. You got the guy, in front of the door to the ivory tower talking to the rest of the people and, sharing messages and whatnot. So yeah, Riker's in a great position, and yeah, it'd be great to be, have a command of his own, but being first
Yeah.
officer on the flagship of the, whole of the Federation.
You are just really reading my mind right now.
Yeah. It's like, that's a great gig. I mean, better than captaining some other ships, I would think, is being first officer on the flagship. Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and to be with that crew and to have the confidence of the crew and also the confidence of the captain that you can offer different opinions, which is
Mm-hmm.
what a captain needs. A captain suggests something and you as first officer says, hey, no, do this instead. And then he can weigh those two things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Riker puts him in his place is like, yeah, you didn't hurt me at all. The Troy makes her own decisions. Yeah, you could wish better for her. Like maybe don't wear that kind of clothes when you're exercising. It's like from Fredericks of Hollywood or something. Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, we forgot to talk about his where is it now? Cable knit suit.
Oh, the cable knit suit. Oh, all the clothing, very 1989 leading into the 90s. Just that,
Oh,
just weird fashion. But this quasi-futuristic thing like the sequined pillows, which I kind of like because you'd be able to find it in the dark, but also I don't think they'd be comfortable.
mm-mm.
I don't
Maybe
know,
it was
something
just a
about the look of
shimmery.
them, just
I,
yeah,
I
shimmery kind of
I
fabric.
don't think it was sequins because sequins are individual things that are sewn
Yeah,
together.
that kind of, yeah,
Yeah, and I think it was the shimmery fabric that you were
right. Kind of
saying
metallic
because
looking fabric.
I didn't see sequins. I
It
just saw
stays
shimmery
as
fabric.
cool as the other side of the pillow. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, his weird suit jackets and the one that looked like it was cable knit suit
Mm,
jacket. It was weird. Just the patterning and texture of it looked like a cable knit, but in sci-fi style and that kind of sleek shark skin kind of reflective material, kind of iridescent, but
yeah,
at the same time with cable knit pattern. And it's like, what the hell is he wearing?
I don't know. What I do know is that it was just the costumes were horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the exercising with Beverly. Oh, what are they even doing? They're doing stretches before working out, I guess.
I guess.
And you
I
can
don't
can
know.
tell can tell Gates is a dancer because
Hmm.
she's pretty limber. She gets down kind of in a split and then decides her mind on what kind of split she's doing.
No, she's definitely a dancer.
Yeah,
She's
they
yeah.
put their feet together with their legs spread, almost like they're scissoring. Which, oh my God!
No, they're not.
And
They're way too far apart to be
they're
scissoring,
too
darling.
far, but it's the suggestion of, which I'm sure was the idea when this was written in
Yeah.
crayon. Um, ugh. They're wearing these body stockings, like they're knit sweatwear kind of body stockings, but then they have these swimsuit-like outfits over them with strategic cutouts where the boobs go. And it
Hmm.
reminds me of European Vacation when they go to a review and it's a topless review, the family. And
Oh
of
wow.
course, the dad's loving it. The mom's kind of embarrassed. The kids are like, "What the hell?" Except, of course, the son who's way into it. But
Gross.
it's the same kind of swimsuit where it strategically has nothing to cover the boobs. Yeah, you have straps going up over the arms. You have, something covering the crotch area, but the boobs are on full display. And that's what they're wearing. It's like something you'd order from an erotic catalog. These
I
swimsuits that cover these body stockings, and
It's not a
especially
swimsuit.
it's not, but it's got the hints of it, you know.
No, this is, I hate to tell you this,
Uh-huh.
but this was typical of activewear for women at this point in time.
I
This is how
what's
women dressed to work out.
Oh dear Lord.
Hmm.
The way I think of it, it was like, yeah, you could wear like sweats or a body stocking or something like that, but then a half shirt and maybe, some kind of thing over the pants, the bottoms or whatever, like kind of bikini bottoms or something like that.
Yeah, no,
But
no,
like a
that's
stretch fabricy kind of stuff. It's
no, unfortunately, what they were wearing was typical of activewear in the year 1989.
Dear Lord. Because I
Hmm.
remember the high thigh, like high-waisted French cut thing that was popular in the 80s. But yeah, this stuff,
Yeah,
it was like
it was so bad,
lingerie without being
especially,
lacy is just
yeah,
bad.
it's
And
so, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
it's the G-string back too with
Hmm.
Troy when she's leaning forward and you see
Thank
that
you.
cutting into her butt crack, like what the hell?
You just stole my idea. I mean,
It's
not my thought. It wasn't my idea. I was going to say the exact same thing, but
right.
you said it for me, so thank you.
Well, you have
Um,
something else to reference that'll leave to you.
yeah, I just started laughing when they both showed up because I'm like, oh my God, I forgot it was this episode. Because so anyone who's watched Lower Decks will recognize those outfits because Shax and Ransom were working out together. They were doing stretches and they were
Mhm.
wearing the same fucking outfits.
Which just points out how absurd they are
Yes, that's why
by
they did it. That's why it
by
was so funny.
putting, men on the ship, especially, the two men that were probably considered the most, physically capable,
Mm-hmm.
the security chief and the first officer,
Yep.
who's known to be working out all the time. It's like to have them stretching together in the same damn outfits, the
Doing the
same
same stretches.
same stretches, same butt
Oh,
crack bottoms.
that was so funny. That
It's like
was so funny.
Discovery is nice and grounded. That looks like athletic wear. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
just have a t-shirt with, the fancy disco, which is a great idea. You just have a nickname for the ship and wear that as your athletic wear.
Mm-hmm.
Just some like running pants or shorts, some
Yep.
running shoes. Boom, done.
Yep.
Ta-da.
Ugh, yeah, there was so much objectification in this episode that it was nauseating.
Yeah, it's sleazy. It reminds me of those erotic thrillers
Mm.
that were so popular around the like mid 90s or so.
Meh.
Everything with Shannon Tweed in it, any of those.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I didn't have cable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
just that kind of feel. And even the way it's shot is kind of like that, but like a TV movie and like a seedy kind of like Melrose Place kind of something that they'd filmed for the Fox channel because other channels probably wouldn't air it. Like something like Silk Stockings. Yeah, that kind of feel to it.
hmm.
It's just gross. It's just bleh. Take a shower
Yeah.
after watching this episode.
Yeah. This is my I do love the scene where Deanna just rips him apart.
Oh,
And
at the very end?
at the very end when she just
Yeah.
bears him to everyone.
Yeah, because he like promises or has her promise to keep his secret because he's part Beta Z and that he's using his talent. And they have an argument and you brought up that he had certain points to it, and it's like, well, does he? Because yeah, people
He
always
does.
use
He does, but he's gaslighting her.
right.
Like I understand what he's doing. He's gaslighting her. So yes, he does have certain points, but they're being used as gaslighting. They're not
Yeah.
being used in a kind way. They're not being used in a loving way. They are being used in a manipulative way. And so he's just fucking gaslighting her.
Yeah, because she's pointing out that he's using his empathy in underhanded manner to gain this advantage against others, against their will, and he's basically cheating at cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns that back on her. It's like, you do the same thing. He was like, you're breeding an enemy to defend the ship and stuff. It's like, yeah, but that's her official duties. And, everyone around her are aware of that, except maybe the enemy, but then they're the enemy. It's like, if you go into every negotiation thinking the other people are enemies and nothing is forbidden, like you can do whatever to get an edge, including basically poisoning some of the other negotiators,
Mm-hmm.
you have no leg to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a peaceful concern. And the whole idea is to go in there with genuine interest, with a genuine offer. It's not, this, I guess, is, why I hate business and finance so much, is because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it is this corporate espionage bullshit where it's all about undermining the other companies, like short selling stocks and all this other shit,
Yeah.
and trading market instability and all these things to garner an advantage, and using the press and all this stuff. All that underhanded stuff is like, that's what he's all about, is
Mm-hmm.
how to gain an advantage that's unfair. You
Yep.
come to the table with an offer and best offer wins. That should be the extent of it. But he doesn't play the game that way. He cheats.
He cheats. He makes an alliance with the Ferengi, and they put on this little show that Deanna's like, no, 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 this isn't real.
Mhm.
No, nobody's upset here. Nobody's going to do anything bad. Nobody's going to fire a torpedo. Well, that
Yep.
Ferengi actually did, but it was easily destroyed by the
Oh,
Enterprise.
yeah, because that was all part of the plan. Is like, we'll
Yep.
fire a torpedo. It's probably a dud, just in case they don't shoot it down, but they will, because it's
Mhm.
the Enterprise and they're going to protect the wormhole, because that's what they're there to do, is protect the negotiations.
Yep. And he does win the bid, but the wormhole's worthless.
See, again, poker player.
Mm-hmm.
Because Riker's the poker player, he knows when to go all in. You don't go all in before the flop. Because
Yep.
let's say you have two aces, the other person has two kings. If the flop turns and there's two other kings there and no aces the rest of the game, you're shit out of luck. And
Mm-hmm.
you don't know that. You have a pair of aces, this guy's got four kings, he's going to win the hand. It's like, you don't go all in before the flop. And that's exactly what Rawl does. He goes all in before the flop.
Yep.
He thinks he's holding the aces, and it doesn't matter because, the flop happens, and guess what? It's stable on only one side of the wormhole. Who knows where the other wormhole goes? But he's already made the deal. He's
Yep.
already, through creating chaos, through all these theatrics, through working with the Ferengi on this whole staged event. Yeah, he convinced this Barzalian,
Barzanian.
Barzanian,
Barzanian. Yeah.
Barzanian,
Barzanite. There we go. Let's do that.
Barzanite,
Barzanite.
Barzananian.
No.
No, that doesn't work. Yeah,
Just
Barzanian
call him
devil.
Just call him a Barzan. Barzan. Barzan.
Barzan. Yeah,
Barzan.
the Barzan delegate convinces her to agree to a deal, because shown that the Federation can't be trusted because they're too warlike, because of course they're in another security fiasco. And he convinces another uh, species to, or another delegate, another negotiator, to back down, because their species isn't known for handling this much administrative work, and it's really not in their character to do so. And of course, the Ferengi were never a genuine concern, because they were working with Rawl all the time, and what makes you wonder how much more money and resources went to working with the Ferengi, because we know they're not cheap.
Mm-mm. They're not.
So he's not only offering what the Crystalians,
Chrysalians, yes.
Evans, Pratt, Pike, and the rest of them, has to offer. He's also put in some kind of side stash, some other payment to the Ferengi, which is possibly shared use
Mm,
of the wormhole, possibly.
mm,
So they're shit out of luck too. But yeah, that Troy exposes him and says, "This was your setup all along. You've been working with the Ferengi this whole time because I sense nothing, no tension. This is all for dramatic effect.
hmm
There's no real concern here. There's no real threat here. They don't intend to blow up the wormhole because they can't have it,
Yeah.
which would be way overstepping anyway. Because how would that deal with the Ferengi if they were to blow up this wormhole? I mean, is the Federation going to respond? How is the Barzan going to respond?
Yeah.
Or the Chrysalians or anybody who had a vested interest in this? If the Ferengi blow it up, that's going to burn bridges with any of these. And that's not, you know, Ferengi can burn bridges, but it's not wise because that's bad business.
It is bad business. They'll do business
Yeah.
with anyone, pretty much.
Yeah. If you
So,
sell shoddy goods to enough people and word gets around,
hmm
nobody's going to want to deal with you anymore.
yeah.
Nobody's going to drink from the poisoned well.
Yeah, it's and even at the very end, he's still kind of like manipulating. He's like seeming really penitent and saying,
Hmm.
I don't, it turns out I don't like what I see in the mirror, blah, and I don't believe it for
No,
a second.
I don't think she gives two shits really. It's more
Hmm
embarrassing than anything else. I think the only time he really felt anything is when Riker got him, and I think that was pride.
hmm
Because he thinks hot shit of himself. And you see that all the time. He's wearing this smug smile and he's very haughty and
Yeah.
self-involved and just he's total Chad, to
Oh,
borrow the
ugh.
online terminology.
Yeah, it's the stuff that she let him do.
I know, and it
Ugh,
makes her look bad.
it
I know it
does.
shouldn't because, it's a beloved character, and I know Next Generation doesn't do the best with its women characters,
No, they
that they're usually
don't.
underwritten or just there, as it's been put, to be a potted plant, to be something pretty in the corner.
They're there
Uh,
to reaffirm somebody else's opinion or thoughts.
mhm.
That's basically what Crusher is she's there to, for the captain to reaffirm
Yep.
whatever it is he's struggling with. And that's it. That's
No.
pretty much it. She gets more to do later, but
Yeah.
yeah. She that's the thing is that Gates McFadden wanted to direct
Hmm.
in Next Generation and they wouldn't let her and she actually got fired. People
Right.
say that she left the show. That's what everyone was told, but she got fired. And then after the disaster that was Dr. Pulaski, and I know a lot of people like Dr.
Yep.
Pulaski,
She
but
has her fans.
she does, and I have no qualms with that, but she was absolutely the wrong doctor for the Enterprise.
I think she was too close to Bones. I think they were
Way
trying to
too close.
mirror Bones when they should have just had an original character.
Yeah, she was just too cold. She was
Yeah.
really cold. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Diana Muldaur's performance.
Hmm.
I do, but I do not like the character. I've never liked the character, and you can't make me like the character.
Right.
And that's fine. That's fine. And I'm not saying that she should never have been there. Well, technically, she should never have been there because Gates should never have been fired.
Right.
And so when the polling came in and they're like, "Oh, nobody likes Pulaski." Okay, what do we do? And then some better people with some better brains said, "Oh,
Yeah.
let's get Gates back."
Yep.
So there we are. And then she ended up
Yeah.
having more to do later. And we're not going to talk about Sub Rosa. Anyway, someday we'll hit that episode, and I'll
Yeah,
have to
that one
talk about
too.
it. But
Oof, I know. As good as Next Generation can be, there are the occasional stinker, and I think this is one of them. I
yeah.
mean, it is rewarding, the Riker getting his goat.
Mm-hmm.
It is rewarding with Troy exposing him and
Mm-hmm.
the ploy. There are moments in this,
There are moments that are
but
good, but
with the seemingly limited budget, with just kind of the sketchy, seedy, kind of creepy things this particular episode has,
mhm.
it's rough.
It is rough. It's interesting though that I think I just hit my microphone with my notebook. So if that was a
Yeah,
bad
if I
noise,
hear a
I
bung, I'll
apologize.
hear a bung.
Yeah, because that's what we do. We don't edit.
No.
Um, there are three things that come out of this episode that get referenced again. We've got the Barzans. They get referenced again
Right?
with Non in Star Trek
Non.
Discovery.
Yum yum.
Non. Rachel Antrell, what a glorious
Yep.
person. Uh, the outfits, get referenced by Lower Decks,
Hmm.
and the Ferengi
Yep.
that get lost in the Delta Quadrant turn up in a Voyager episode.
Yeah, with underboob, so we have that to look forward to.
Ugh, God. Underboobs is just it's just gross.
Yep.
My final thought on this is what I wrote in my notes, which is, why did you let him any of this?
Why'd you let him what now this?
Any of this? Why did you let
Oh, why
him
did you let him?
why did you let him touch you? Why did you let
Oh,
him bed you? Why did you let him gaslight you? Why did you let him any of this?
there is kind of a hand wavy thing about the human side interfering with the Beta Z
Mm-hmm.
side that they talk about, but it's unsatisfying and doesn't really address what's going on. Is how
Yeah.
can you be so conflicted that your empathic ability gets blocked under certain circumstances for some reason that never gets fully explained?
Yeah,
And
no.
maybe it doesn't get explained because not even she or they understand it, is
Yeah.
why in certain circumstances they can't pick up on certain subtleties. And maybe because he's partially Beta Z, he can block her and vice versa, maybe. I don't know. Because it seems like his empathy isn't just receiving, it seems to be a transference too. It
Yeah, with
seems
that
like he
one
can
really tall delegate.
push
Yeah.
people. I mean, maybe that's just picking up on what's already there and pushing that button. But it seems like with Troy in particular, he was pushing something. It's almost like a pheromone kind of control. Like it's something beyond her control that he's able to do for some reason.
Yeah.
It might have something to do with the Beta Z sexuality or something. Maybe he has some kind of pheromones or their psychic connection is such that he can influence her against her will, which is also creepy.
Mm-hmm. He's just straight up
Because
creepy on every level.
it just seems like she's above him
Mm-hmm.
and that she's not is disappointing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just makes her role in this. And it's great to be, given an episode that features your character to such an extent, but to be treated and, well, mistreated, mishandled
Mm-hmm.
so blatantly, so egregiously, it's very disappointing.
It is.
It's
It's
it's below the
gross.
character. It's below what we expect of the character, and it makes the character just seem uncharacteristic. It just doesn't fit the role. It's like she should sense this guy a mile away and shut him
Mm-hmm.
down immediately, and that she doesn't is weird.
Mm-hmm.
And we never get a satisfying explanation as to why she goes along with it.
Yep.
He's like, is she that desperate to get her end away? I don't know. It's like they got a holodeck. There's things she could do.
Well, apparently it isn't as satisfying as real sex.
I see.
At
What, the
least if you
HBO
ask,
television series?
no,
Oh,
at least if you ask for it on the Voyager, it's
right.
it's definitely not going to work for Ponfar.
Right. I'm sure
Um,
there's other crew members too. I mean, just date. I guess being the counselor makes things difficult because she's the only counselor. It's not like she can date clients.
well,
Um,
that's the thing. Is she the only counselor? Because on a
I don't
ship
know.
that big and
Yeah.
she's the only counselor, I find that difficult to believe.
Yeah, especially with one with families. You'd think they'd be specialized. There's,
Yep.
counselors for the crew, because there's classified information they can talk about that she's privy to because
Mm-hmm.
she's part of the command crew. You'd think there'd be family counseling,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of families on board the Enterprise for
Mm-hmm.
reasons.
Yep.
Um, yeah, you'd think they'd have very specialist fields for different counselors. So I could see her. I mean, that's another difficult thing. Well, she could hang out with a civilian, date a civilian. There's
Yeah.
civilians on board.
Yeah.
You would imagine, just like
Indeed.
date a chef or something to have nice home cooked meal. Be kind of nice. Maybe she gets her real chocolate that way.
You'd
Just a
have to get
thought.
that shipped in. You'd have
Yeah.
to get off at a star base to find real chocolate, or some world that has
Hey, just
chocolate.
like that, we pulled off the third scene of the Herald. Yay! Oh, sorry.
Yay.
Call
Uh,
back there from early on in the episode.
uh,
Yeah.
uh, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Oh, hell no. What's left to talk about, really? I think we addressed
Nothing.
everything.
Nothing to talk about. Okay, so the exciting part is we
It's
get to choose next episode, or rather,
right.
our my phone gets to choose the next episode. But I
Come
gotta
on, new
get,
Trek or original series. Something we haven't reviewed yet. As much as
yeah,
I love reviewing, the rest of the series, it'd be nice to just kind of dip our toe in something new.
yes, agreed. I would like that too. So, if I had dice, I would blow on them, but I don't. So let's fire up the whole question taker here.
All right.
And I could unlock my phone, that would help.
Yeah.
Wow, typed it in wrong 3 times. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 944. 609. Not quite.
Not
Not
quite
quite a
enough.
new Trek.
Enterprise again.
Probably. Let's see.
DS9.
Let's see. 609 is Voyager, season
Voyager
7,
again.
episode 5, Critical Care.
Ooh, season 7. Oh boy.
You might see it with different eyes this time.
Episode 5, right? Of season 7.
Episode 5, season 7.
All right.
Dang it.
No, I'm cool with Voyager, but season 7, it feels like they were intending to end earlier and they just had more to do, and I guess it got to the point where they're just throwing shit out there.
Hmm.
It's like, what the hell? Let's have Seven and Chakotay hook up. It's like against the wishes of everybody.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are actually other episodes in season 7 that are not terrible.
Okay,
But
we'll see about this one.
I don't remember what this one is from the title. So again, don't tell me. Don't tell me,
Okay,
folks.
give me the title again. I think I was in my head about it being season 7. I didn't pick up on the title as well as I should have.
Critical Care.
Critical Care.
Critical Care.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell, but then I don't remember watching much of season 7 because around that time it was getting preempted a lot and getting moved
Yeah.
around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And also it just kind of the shine had gone off of it a bit. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
We
remember
just
much of season 7, so this might be a new one for me.
Well, and then when they finally do get home, it's so unsatisfying because it just
Yeah.
ends with them popping into the Alpha Quadrant.
Yeah,
Just
there should be some like denouement or something, them
mhm.
catching up with people and family members, but no, it's
Nope.
just them home. It's like, oh, they
Yep.
got home. Okay, close credits.
That was a disservice to the series.
Yeah.
So there you go for next week. Critical Care.
Critical Care.
And yeah.
Roll a
Do
natural
you have
20 on your care.
natural?
A medicine roll. Must be a
Let's hope it's
cleric.
not a critical one.
Yeah. This is,
Because what is it? Critical failure, whereas
yep.
20 is a
5%
critical
chance of
success.
failure.
Yeah. And it does happen to me a lot.
Yeah. So how can I roll this many ones? Well, you have a 5% chance each time.
Yeah. It seems like it's not random, but it really
Yeah.
is. So
Yeah. Well, considering how many times you roll dice, how often, 1 in 20.
yeah.
You know.
So do you want to tell people
Do I
anything?
want do I want to tell people anything?
Yeah.
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It is
Yeah.
your birthday. If you're listening to this later, his
It's
birthday
not my
is
birthday
later.
anymore. Yeah. Yeah, you'll have what, a few hours left in the end of the day after I put this out. And if you're in the UK, it's already passed. It's
Yeah.
like 1 a.m. over there.
Time zones.
Yeah, time zones. Time zones. Am I right?
I was
Um,
just thinking that, Dave. This is why we're married.
oh, we saw Thunderbolts. Watch it. It's good.
It's so good. It's
Florence
really,
Pugh's
really good.
amazing in it.
Everybody's amazing in it. There is not a
Really,
weak clink in there.
yeah, if there was a lead character, I think it was her. It's really her story throughout, and she does
Yes.
an excellent job. And of course, she's a very talented actor. And
Yep.
yeah,
I'm
um,
very impressed with David Harbour because he made me forget he was David Harbour.
Yeah, his role as Red Guardian is very entertaining and
Yeah.
has some touching moments too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny and it's touching and
And I laughed and I cried and I was scared and
yeah,
it was all
it's
the
a roller
things.
coaster. Yeah, it's like a Disney movie, kind of, because it is.
Yeah. So go see it, guys.
Yep. So what do I want to tell people? Well, I'll
Mhm.
tell you where you could find us. Shield Podulation is on Blue Sky, or we got a YouTube channel with it's under DJ Evil Dave with underscores. You can find all our episodes there. I try to share links on Blue Sky daily. I'm DJ Evil Dave over on Blue Sky. I'm really not on any other social media because Mastodon, the Fediverse thing just doesn't quite work. It's hard to build up any kind of following. So Blue Sky is it for me. Uh, Also on YouTube, I share uh, if I can, music videos or songs that share a title with the episode we review. So I'll probably find something titled The Price, see if I can find a song called that and add it to the playlist. It's surprising how many I do find. There's what else really? SoundCloud. I share episodes of the podcast there. If you don't like working with YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. There's also a website called Hear This, where I share all the episodes of the podcast there. You can download them for free if you want, or you can just stream them from that website. On SoundCloud, I can only share one episode plus the teaser. And over on Hear This, all the episodes are there for your perusal. Oh, there's a Spotify playlist under DJ Evil Dave too. That's Shield Podulation. Has all the episodes there. And you can even hit random as a playlist and listen to our random show randomly. And any episode we've done will pop up just at random for you to listen to.
Random. It's
Yep.
our game.
Yeah. That's about it, I think. Yeah. Just Blue Sky, YouTube, Hear This, SoundCloud.
And I'm on Blue Sky as Brandy One with an I. Brandi
With an
WIND.
I. Yep.
Yep. And that's the first time I've ever actually gotten that name without having to put some sort of number after
Yeah, a
it or
number after
before
it.
it.
Yes, because you got into Blue Sky early. Didn't you get an invite from somebody?
I did.
Yeah.
A long time ago, it seems
Yeah, so
like,
did
when it was
I.
still very quiet. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Well, thanks for joining us in this shit show. I mean, this episode,
Well,
for
even the
this,
bad episodes have something to offer, and there were good
yeah,
moments, and we addressed them. So,
yeah,
there are good moments in this, and
just not
I
enough.
think they're worthy of a watch. It's just the rest of the episode is very much cringe.
It's so cringe. It's just why,
It's skibbity.
ew. It's ew. It's just so much
Yeah.
ew. So, all right then, we'll be back in 2 weeks with critical care.
Yeah, critical care.
So
It's just
again,
fun to say if nothing else. Critical care.
yeah, don't spoil it for me, guys. I mean,
Must have something to do with the doctor, but we'll see.
yeah, I know I've seen the episode, but again, I'm not great at relating titles to episodes, but doing this podcast is doing a lot for that because I'm
Yeah.
never gonna forget what
You're never gonna
episode the
forget.
price is.
Yes. Yeah, we're remembering episode titles, sort of. Oh, that's something else. You appear on some other podcasts. Do you want to share those in case anybody wants
uh,
to draw their ears to them? Like
yes,
616 and
yes. I have done some podcasts with other people. Podcast 616. I was on the episode where we covered the season finale of Daredevil Born Again. And that was a great time. Had a great time. Met a really cool person named Kalechi, and I love her. And we're now following each other on Blue Sky. And I hope I get to do that again. And of course, my friend Ashley was there too. Ashley and I actually met doing a podcast, a Star Trek podcast episode for her network, and we've just been friends ever since, and it's really
right.
cool. So, and then so that there was that, and a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did a podcast with
Dan, you know Dan.
Dan, my friend Dan, who basically has made this possible,
Yeah,
this show
it's kind of the
possible by the
And the
The
seed
don-
as to why this podcast even exists.
Yes, and also the donation of his fabulous spreadsheet,
Yes.
a copy of that. Uh, and it's Positively Trek. And we were talking about a new comic mini series that's happening across a couple of different issues, a couple of different titles, I should say. And that is Lore War.
Lore War.
And we just did another episode a few days ago that should be out now. If it's not, then it will be coming soon. That covers parts 2 and 3 of Lore War. And if you think that the first episode, I guess you would say, of that is first installment of that is unhinged, just wait. Just hold your horses, hold my beer, because it's going to get weird. So I'm really enjoying it, though. I love talking comics with Dan. It's one of my favorite things to do. So you can catch me there as well. And someday when we have new Star Trek again, Dan and I will be back with the Unready Room to talk about those episodes. But God only knows when that happens, because all we know is summer.
Right. I did see a spike in our listenership, which might be people that heard one of these other podcasts and came to Shield Podulation. If you're one of those people, excellent, great. Stick around if you like. We have plenty more episodes to cover. We're early days into this podcast, this being episode 20, and we have 924 more to go.
Yep. And that's not counting the ones that are coming up.
Yeah, that's not counting
Strange New Worlds soon. Starfleet Academy
and Starfleet Academy, and you know, if there's more Prodigy.
Well, I hope there is, because season 2 was so magnificent.
It was excellent.
I mean, I didn't think they could do better than season 1, and then they did. And that is not a complaint. That is not saying that season 1 is substandard. Season 1 is a miracle and wonderful and amazing, and it sets up so many wonderful things for season 2, and just does wonderful things for Star Trek in general. So yeah. All right, then.
I think that takes care of everything. We said what we need to say, and yeah, the price.
Critical care. The price of admission is too high when it comes to this episode.
The price of your soul, Deanna. What are you thinking? Sorry. Price of your reputation.
Why did you let him anything?
Make better choices.
Yes. Anyway. All right. We'll see you. Well, we won't see you. We'll talk to you, and we'll talk in your ears in 2 weeks. So
2 weeks time, fortnight.
Be good to each other. Nothing good comes out of doing bad things. Actually, that's not true. Sometimes good things do come out of bad things. I'll just stop. I'll just stop now. So just go out there, be a good person, and we love you, and bye.
Yeah.